Have you ever wondered what secrets can hide in the most ordinary places? A park bench, a train station, or maybe even a coffee shop. Today, I want to tell you a story that begins with something small, something that seems normal but very quickly turns into something unforgettable. Stay with me because this story has mystery friendship and a secret you will not expect. Welcome, everyone. My name is Miss Puong, and this is Miss Puong English. On this channel, you can practice real English with stories, shadowing, and simple conversations. I create these lessons so you can improve your English step by step and enjoy learning at the same time. If you like learning English through fun stories, make sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoy today's story, please give this video a like. That way more learners like you can discover it. Now let's begin our story. It is called The Coffee Shop Secret. It was a quiet Saturday morning in a small town. The sun was bright, but the streets were not busy yet. At the corner of Main Street stood a little coffee shop called Morning Brew. It was not a fancy place. The chairs were wooden, the tables a little scratched, but the smell of fresh coffee always filled the air. People came here not only for the coffee, but also for the warm feeling. Anna, a young woman of 21, pushed open the door. She was a student who came to the coffee shop almost every weekend. She loved sitting near the window with her notebook pretending to study, but often just watching people come and go. This morning something felt different. As she entered, she noticed a man sitting alone at the back table. He was wearing a dark jacket and a cap pulled low over his face. He didn't have coffee, only a small notebook in front of him. His eyes moved quickly, scanning the room, and then went back to the notebook. Anna tried not to stare, but her curiosity grew. Who was he? Why was he writing so fast? She ordered her usual drink, a cappuccino, and chose a seat not far from the mysterious man. She opened her own notebook, but her eyes kept moving to him. Then something unexpected happened. The man stood up suddenly, almost knocking his chair over. He looked around quickly, then hurried toward the door. But in his rush, he dropped something. Anna saw it fall, a small folded piece of paper. He didn't notice. In just a moment, he was gone. Anna felt her heart beat faster. She looked at the folded paper on the floor. Nobody else noticed it. Should she pick it up? Should she leave it? She hesitated for a second, then quietly walked over, bent down, and picked it up. It was light in her hand, just an ordinary piece of paper, but it felt heavy with mystery. She unfolded it carefully, and her eyes widened. The paper had only a short message written in big, clear letters. "Meet me here at 3 o'clock. Do not be late." Anna froze. What did this mean? Who wrote it? Who was supposed to read it? And what would happen at 3 o'clock? She folded the paper quickly and hid it in her notebook. She looked around, but the man was gone. The coffee shop was back to normal people chatting, cups clinking. Only Anna knew that something unusual had just happened. She sat back down, her cappuccino untouched. She couldn't stop thinking about the note. 3 o'clock. That was only a few hours away. Should she stay and see what happens? Should she tell someone, or should she just forget it and go home? Her mind raced with questions. But deep inside, she knew she was too curious to walk away. She decided she would stay. Time passed slowly. She tried to read. She tried to study, but her eyes kept moving to the clock on the wall. 11 o'clock. 12. 1 o'clock. People came and left. The coffee shop grew busy, then quiet again. Anna stayed in her seat, pretending to be focused, but waiting. At 2:30, her heart began to beat faster. She ordered another drink this time, just tea, to keep her spot near the window. She kept the folded note hidden in her notebook. She felt like a spy in a movie, waiting for the moment something big would happen. Finally, the clock struck 3. The door opened and a tall woman walked in. She had short black hair, a green coat, and a confident walk. She went straight to the back table, the same one the man had used earlier. She sat down and placed a small black bag on the table. Then she waited. Anna's breath caught in her throat. Was this the person the man was supposed to meet? Would he come back? What was inside the bag? The woman looked around calmly, but Anna thought she saw her glance toward the door again and again, as if expecting someone. Minutes passed. 5. 10. 15. But the man never returned. The woman grew impatient. She opened the bag, looked inside, then closed it again. She pulled out her phone, typed something quickly, then stood up. She walked to the counter, ordered a coffee to go, and left. Anna sat frozen in her chair. The bag was still on the table. Her eyes widened again. The woman had left without it, and just like that, Anna found herself at the center of a secret she could not ignore. What should Anna do now? Should she open the bag? Should she take it to the police? Or should she wait and see if someone comes back for it? Her heart raced with the possibilities. Before I continue with what happens next, I want to pause and ask you, if you were Anna, what would you do? Would you open the bag right there in the coffee shop? Would you leave quickly and forget it? Or would you wait for the owner to return? Tell me in the comments below. I love reading your ideas, and sometimes your answers inspire the next part of the story. So Sarah walked slowly into the coffee shop. She looked around. The place was full of warm lights, quiet music, and the smell of fresh coffee. She liked it already. She saw the man behind the counter. He was tall, with kind eyes and a small smile. He looked calm, like he had worked there for many years. His name tag said Daniel. Sarah stood in line waiting for her turn. She wanted to order something simple, maybe just a latte. But while she was waiting, she noticed something strange. Near the counter on the little wall shelf, there was a small wooden box. It was not big, not shiny, but it caught her attention. Why? Because people kept walking up to it, looking around carefully, and then slipping a piece of paper inside. She watched closely. A young woman put in a note and smiled to herself. Then an older man walked up, checked if anyone was watching, and slid in another paper. Sarah became curious. What was this box? Was it for messages? Was it for orders? Or was it something else? Finally, it was Sarah's turn to order. She stepped up to the counter. "Hi," she said softly. "Can I have a latte, please?" Daniel, the man behind the counter, nodded. "Of course. 1 latte. Anything else?" Sarah hesitated. She wanted to ask about the box, but she wasn't sure if it was polite. Should she say something or stay quiet? She took a deep breath and decided to ask. Excuse me," she said. "That box over there. What is it for? Daniel looked at her for a moment. His eyes seemed to study her carefully. Then he smiled a little. Oh, it's our special box. Customers put things in there. Sarah waited for him to explain more, but he didn't. He just handed her the receipt and said, "Your latte will be ready soon." She was not satisfied. "But what do they put inside?" she asked again. Daniel leaned a little closer, lowered his voice, and said, "Secrets." Sarah blinked. "Secrets," she repeated. "Yes," Daniel said with a small laugh. "People write down their secrets and put them inside the box. Every Friday evening we open it. We read some of the secrets out loud to the customers who want to listen. Of course it's anonymous. No one knows who wrote what." Sarah was surprised. She had never heard of something like this before. A coffee shop where people shared secrets. It sounded strange, but also exciting. She picked up her latte, thanked Daniel, and went to sit at a corner table. She sipped her drink slowly, but her eyes kept going back to the wooden box. She wanted to know what kind of secrets were inside. Were they funny, sad, romantic? While she was thinking, a man at the next table leaned toward her. He was in his 20s with messy hair and a notebook in front of him. He whispered, "It's your first time here, right?" Sarah looked at him surprised. "Yes." "How do you know?" He smiled. "Because you keep staring at the box. Everyone does the first time they come here. I'm Alex, by the way." "Sarah," she said with a small smile. Alex nodded. "Nice to meet you. So are you going to put in a secret?" Sarah laughed nervously. "I don't know. I don't really have one." Alex raised his eyebrows. "Everyone has a secret. Maybe not a big one, but something. Something you don't usually tell people." Sarah thought about it. Maybe he was right. She did have things she never told anyone, but would she really write them down for strangers to read? She wasn't sure. She finished her latte and stood up. On the way out, she paused by the wooden box. She looked at it one more time. Then she walked away. Not today, she thought. Maybe next time. But that night Sarah could not stop thinking about the box. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, wondering what people had written. She imagined secret love letters, regrets, jokes, and even confessions. The more she thought about it, the more she wanted to know. The next day she found herself walking back to the coffee shop. She didn't even plan it. Her feet just took her there. When she entered, Daniel looked up and smiled like he had been expecting her. "You're back," he said. Sarah nodded. "Yes. I think I want to try the box today." Daniel's smile grew. "Good. Take your time. The box is always waiting." Sarah sat down with a pen and paper. She held the pen, but her hand didn't move. What should she write? What secret could she share? Should it be something funny? Something serious? She felt nervous. Alex, the man with the notebook, was there again. He noticed her struggling and said, "Don't think too much. Just write the first thing that comes to your mind. That's the real secret." Sarah closed her eyes for a moment. Then slowly she began to write. As she finished, she folded the paper and held it tightly in her hand. Her heart was beating fast. She stood up, walked to the box, and slipped the paper inside. She felt a strange mix of fear and relief. When she sat back down, Alex asked, "So how do you feel?" Sarah smiled nervously. Like I just gave away a piece of myself. Alex nodded. Exactly. That's the magic of the box. And at that moment, Sarah realized she was already part of the secret world of the coffee shop. Before we continue the story, let me ask you something. If there was a secret box like this in your city, would you put in a note? What kind of secret would you write? Share your answer in the comments. I really want to know. And while you're here, don't forget to like this video if you enjoy the story. It helps me a lot to make more fun English learning stories for you. And of course, subscribe to Miss Puong English for more. The story will get even more interesting because Sarah's secret is about to change everything. Do you want to know how? Stay with me? Because in the next part, the box reveals something unexpected. The small bell above the coffee shop door rang again. This time it was Daniel, the young man with the notebook. He walked straight to the counter, ordered his usual drink, and then looked around. His eyes stopped for a second on Anna. He gave a polite smile and went to sit at his usual table by the window. Anna noticed something different today. Normally, Daniel would open his notebook right away. He would write or draw without looking up. But today he seemed distracted. He looked at the window, then at his notebook, and then at the people around him. His hand tapped on the table nervously. Anna whispered to herself, "Why does he look nervous? Is he waiting for someone?" The coffee shop was filling up. A group of students walked in laughing loudly. An older man in a hat sat down near the door. The barista called out names for drinks, and the room buzzed with voices. Anna looked back at Daniel. She saw something that made her even more curious. He wrote a word in his notebook, quickly closed it, and then slipped a small folded piece of paper into his pocket. Anna thought, "What's inside that note? Is it the same one I saw before?" At that moment, Mrs. Green leaned toward Anna and whispered, "That young man? He comes here every day, doesn't he?" Anna nodded. "Yes, and he always writes something." Mrs. Green lowered her voice. "I think he is hiding something. I once saw him tear out a page and put it under the sugar jar on his table." Anna's eyes grew wide. "Under the sugar jar? Did someone take it?" Mrs. Green shrugged. "I don't know. I left before he did. But when I came back the next morning, the page was gone." Anna felt a spark of excitement. It was like a mystery inside this little coffee shop. She glanced at Daniel again. He seemed lost in thought, staring at the folded paper in his hand. Anna wanted to know more, but she also didn't want to look suspicious. So she pretended to read her book while secretly watching. A few minutes later, something unusual happened. The older man in the hat, who had just sat down near the door, stood up and walked slowly toward Daniel's table. He didn't order a drink. He didn't say hello. He just passed by, paused for a second, and tapped his fingers lightly on the sugar jar before walking back to his seat. Anna's heart jumped. That was strange. Why tap the sugar jar? Daniel noticed it too. He frowned slightly, as if he understood some hidden message. Then, without hesitation, he slipped the folded paper under the sugar jar, just like Mrs. Green had described. Anna could hardly believe what she was seeing. She wanted to whisper to Mrs. Green, but the old woman had already left to greet a friend outside. Now Anna was alone, sitting only a few tables away, watching a secret exchange happen right in front of her. The man in the hat waited. He pretended to read a newspaper, but his eyes kept moving toward the sugar jar. Anna's mind was racing. Should I go and look? Should I wait? What if they see me? What if it's something dangerous? At that moment, Daniel stood up, took his coffee, and walked out of the shop. He left the paper under the jar. The man in the hat folded his newspaper, stood up, and walked toward the counter as if to order something. But on his way, his hand casually brushed the sugar jar. A second later, the folded paper was gone. He slipped it into his coat pocket and left the shop without saying a word. Anna sat frozen. She had just watched a secret handoff happen inside a normal, friendly coffee shop. She whispered to herself, "This is no ordinary notebook. This is no ordinary young man." The mystery was growing deeper, and Anna was now part of it, whether she wanted to be or not. Before she could think any further, the barista called out loudly, "Anna, your coffee refill is ready." Everyone turned to look at her. Anna felt her face turn red, but she managed to smile, stand up, and take her drink. Inside, though, her mind was spinning with questions. What was written on that paper? Why did Daniel pass it under the sugar jar? Who was the man in the hat? Anna knew one thing: she could not ignore this. She had to find out the truth. But how? Maybe she could follow Daniel tomorrow? Or maybe she could search the table after they left again. As Anna sat back down with her fresh coffee, she thought, this coffee shop is not just a place for drinks. It is a place full of secrets, and she was determined to discover them. Before we continue, let me ask you something. If you were Anna, what would you do in this situation? Would you try to follow Daniel, or would you pretend you never saw anything? Tell me your answer in the comments. I love reading your ideas. And your thoughts make this channel feel like a real community. Also, if you are enjoying this story, please don't forget to click the like button. It helps more English learners find this video. And if you want to keep practicing with me every week, make sure you subscribe to Mrs. Huang English and turn on the bell. That way you will never miss the next part of this mystery. The next morning, Mia woke up with a smile on her face. She remembered the note she had found at the coffee shop. Her heart was full of curiosity. She wanted to know the whole story. Who was Daniel? Who was Lily? What happened to their love? And why was the note left there hidden in a book? Mia dressed quickly and walked back to the coffee shop. As she entered, the smell of coffee wrapped around her. The warm air felt welcoming like yesterday. She ordered the same drink, a cappuccino, and looked around. The shop was calm. A few students typed on laptops, and an old man read a newspaper in the corner. When she got her coffee, she walked to the bookshelf again. She pulled out the same book. Inside, the note was still there waiting for her. She read it again, slowly, carefully this time. My dearest Lily, if you ever come here and read this, know that my heart still belongs to you. I never stopped thinking of you. Please meet me here at our place one last time. Daniel, Mia whispered to herself. Our place. This must have been their meeting spot. Her imagination started to run. She pictured two young people sitting at the same table, laughing, drinking coffee together. Maybe they were students. Maybe they were lovers, separated by time or by life. She felt like she was standing inside their story. It was no longer just a coffee shop. It was a place full of secrets. Suddenly, the owner of the shop, a kind-looking woman in her 50s, came by to clean the tables. Mia gathered her courage and asked, "Excuse me, do you know someone named Daniel or Lily? Did they come here often?" The woman paused. She looked at Mia with interest. Then she gave a small smile. Ah, you found the note, didn't you? Mia's eyes widened. Yes, you know about it. The woman nodded. She pulled out a chair and sat next to Mia. I've owned this shop for many years. Daniel and Lily used to come here a long time ago. They were young, full of life. They always sat by that window sharing one coffee and talking for hours. Everyone who worked here noticed them. Their laughter filled the shop. Mia leaned closer, listening carefully. But then the woman continued, her eyes soft. Something happened. One day Daniel came in alone. He looked heartbroken. He sat at their table, wrote something, and placed it inside a book on the shelf. He never came back after that. Mia gasped. So this note has been here all this time? The woman nodded. Yes. Many people borrowed books, but somehow that note stayed hidden until you found it. Maybe it was waiting for you. Mia felt goosebumps on her arms. Waiting for her. She was just a stranger. But maybe she was meant to discover it. Do you know what happened to them? Mia asked. The woman sighed. No one really knows. Some say Lily moved to another city. Some say Daniel went abroad. But no one saw them here again. Their story became a little mystery of the shop. Mia looked down at the note again. Her heart ached. She wished she could know the ending. Did Lily ever find the message? Did she ever come back? Did Daniel wait? The owner touched her arm gently. You seem like a kind person, dear. Maybe you can do something with that note. Maybe their story doesn't have to be forgotten. Mia thought about it the whole afternoon. She left the coffee shop, walking slowly down the busy street. The city noise was loud, but inside her mind was quiet, full of Daniel and Lily. She wanted to know more. That evening she opened her journal and started writing. She copied the note word for word. Then she wrote her thoughts, her feelings, her questions. It felt like the start of something bigger. Maybe a story. Maybe a search. But one thing was certain, Mia couldn't stop now. She wanted to find the truth. Before she went to bed, she thought, what if I ask the viewers of Ms. Puang English to help me? What if someone out there has had the same feeling, the same experience? And now, dear friends watching, I want to ask you, what do you think happened to Daniel and Lily? Do you believe Lily ever found the note? Do you think they met again, or were they separated forever? Share your ideas in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts, and maybe together we can imagine the ending to their story. And if you are still with me, thank you. I know you are learning English and you are doing such a great job. Remember, listening to stories like this is not only fun, but it also helps you understand real English more easily. So keep practicing. Keep shadowing with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Join our Ms. Puang English family, where we learn English together through stories, practice, and fun conversations. The bell on the coffee shop door rang again. A tall man with glasses walked in. He looked serious, almost too serious. He scanned the room quickly. For a moment, his eyes landed on Emma's table. Then he walked straight to the counter and ordered a black coffee. Emma felt her heart race. Was this man also connected to the notebook? She could not stop thinking about it. She whispered to Alex, "Do you see that man? He keeps looking over here." Alex glanced up, then laughed softly. Maybe he just likes your coffee, he joked. But Emma was not smiling. She was too focused on the notebook. She opened it again. This time a page caught her eye. At the top it said, "Meeting Place." Below there was a drawing of the very same coffee shop. Emma's eyes grew wide. "Alex," she whispered, "look at this." The notebook says something about this place. This coffee shop is written here. Alex leaned closer, his eyes widening too. That is strange. Why would someone write about this cafe? Do you think it is a diary or some kind of plan? Emma tapped her finger on the page. I think it's a secret. And whoever lost this notebook will come back for it. Maybe even today. The thought made her nervous. She didn't know if it was safe. Should she stay and find out? Or should she give the notebook to the cafe owner? The tall man with glasses took his coffee and sat at a table in the corner. He opened his laptop, but Emma noticed that every few minutes he glanced at her table. Emma whispered again, "Alex. I think he's watching us." Alex shrugged. Or maybe he's just working. But if you want, we can ask the owner about the notebook. Maybe it was left here before. Emma thought for a moment. She felt both curious and afraid. Then she made a decision. No. I want to wait. I want to see who comes for it. Her hands shook as she closed the notebook and placed it in her bag. The cafe was quiet, but Emma could feel the tension. She tried to take a sip of her coffee, but it was already cold. Time passed slowly. A group of students came in laughing loudly. An older woman bought a slice of cake and sat by the window. The tall man kept typing on his laptop. Still, Emma could not relax. Finally, the bell rang once more. A young woman entered the cafe. She looked nervous, her eyes darting around the room. She wore a red scarf, and in her hands she carried nothing but a phone. Emma's breath caught. The woman looked around quickly, then walked straight to the corner table where the tall man was sitting. She leaned down and whispered something. Emma could not hear the words, but she saw the man nod. The woman's eyes then moved across the cafe and landed on Emma. For a second, their eyes locked. Emma quickly looked down at her bag, then back up. The woman smiled politely, but there was something strange in her smile. Something Emma could not explain. Alex leaned closer. Emma, I think she knows. She knows you have the notebook. Emma swallowed hard. She didn't want trouble, but she also didn't want to give up the mystery. Who were these people? And what secret did the notebook really hold? She whispered to Alex, "Let's stay calm. If they come to us, we will just say we found it." Her heart pounded as the woman in the red scarf whispered again to the man with glasses. Then slowly they both stood up. Together they began walking toward Emma's table. At that moment, Emma felt as if time had stopped. The notebook in her bag seemed heavier than ever. She gripped the edge of her chair, waiting for what would happen next. Before I continue, I want to ask you something. What would you do if you were Emma? Would you keep the notebook, or would you give it to the strangers? Tell me your answer in the comments below. I really love reading your thoughts. And your comments help this channel grow. And if you are enjoying this story, make sure you click like and subscribe to Miss Puong English so you never miss the next exciting part of the story. Now let's continue. The woman with the red scarf reached Emma's table first. She smiled again, but her voice was low. "Excuse me," she said. Did you happen to find something here today? Something that does not belong to you. Emma's hands shook, but she tried to keep calm. Yes, she said slowly. I found this notebook on the floor. I thought someone forgot it. The woman's eyes brightened. She looked both relieved and curious. That is very kind of you, she said. This notebook is very important. Emma did not move yet. She glanced at Alex, who gave her a small nod. Then Emma pulled the notebook out of her bag and placed it on the table. The tall man leaned forward, his eyes fixed on it. He did not smile. The woman reached for it, but Emma kept her hand on top of it for just a moment longer. Wait, Emma said. Can you tell me what is inside? Why is it so important? The woman paused. Her smile faded. She looked at the tall man, then back at Emma. It is not something we can explain here, she said softly. But you did the right thing by keeping it safe. Emma felt a mix of relief and disappointment. Part of her wanted to know the secret, but another part of her knew she might never find out. She slowly lifted her hand and let the woman take the notebook. The tall man nodded once, then they both walked back to their corner table. Emma sat back, her chest tight with questions. Alex whispered, Well, that's that. You gave it back. Are you happy? But Emma was not sure. She still wanted answers. She still felt the story was not over. The coffee shop grew quiet again after the group left. Anna sat at her table, her heart still racing from everything she had heard and seen. She stared at her half-empty cup of coffee, her mind full of questions. What would happen next? Would the friends continue their treasure hunt? Should she get involved? She thought about the map. She thought about the word hope. Why did it sound so important? Why did it feel like it was calling her too? Suddenly the door opened again. This time only Leo came back. He looked around nervously and then spotted Anna. Their eyes met. Anna's stomach tightened. He slowly walked toward her table. Hey, Leo said softly, almost whispering. You were sitting here earlier, right? Anna nodded carefully. Yes. Leo hesitated for a moment. You heard us, didn't you? Anna froze. What should she say? If she admitted it, would he be angry? If she lied, could he tell? Leo sighed and gave a small smile. It's okay. I saw the way you looked at us. You're curious. Anna lowered her voice. I did hear some of it. About the map. About hope. Leo leaned in closer. Then maybe it's not an accident. Maybe you were meant to hear. Anna's eyes widened. Meant to hear. Yes. Leo said, his voice serious, but kind. We don't know why, but sometimes life brings the right people together at the right time. Maybe you are supposed to help us. Anna's heart beat faster. Help them. She was just an ordinary girl who loved coffee and stories. But maybe that was exactly why this felt so magical. She looked at Leo and asked, What is the secret? Leo smiled, almost as if he had been waiting for that question. The secret is not just about a map or treasure. The secret is about people, about friendship, about finding meaning in small things. Sometimes we think life is normal, but suddenly we find something that changes everything. Anna whispered, like this moment. Leo nodded. Exactly, like this moment. For a long time, Anna thought quietly. She realized that maybe the treasure was not just gold or jewels. Maybe it was a journey, an adventure, a chance to connect with people she would never meet otherwise. She felt excited, nervous, but also hopeful. She had always dreamed of something more than her daily life. And now maybe this was the beginning. Leo stood up. We're meeting again tomorrow evening. Same place. Same time. If you want to come, come. If not, that's okay too. He gave her a gentle nod and walked out of the shop. Anna sat alone watching him leave. She touched her coffee cup, then looked out the window. The sun was setting, painting the sky in orange and pink. It felt like a new chapter was starting, one she had never expected. She whispered to herself, "The coffee shop secret," and smiled. And maybe, just maybe, her life was about to change forever. Now, my dear viewers, what do you think Anna should do? Should she join Leo and his friends tomorrow and follow the map? Or should she stay safe and continue her normal life? Write your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing your ideas. And remember, practicing English with stories like this is one of the best ways to improve. You can listen, shadow, repeat, and even imagine yourself as one of the characters. When you do this, English becomes alive. If you enjoyed this mini story, please like the video, subscribe to Miss Puong English, and share it with your friends who are also learning English. Together we can make English fun and exciting. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Keep practicing, keep believing in yourself, and I'll see you in the next lesson.